Hi guys, my name is Gabriela and I am a web student, and in this opportunity I wanted to talk to you guys about the Zelen design as it was described by Simon in short read on Zelen design clinical trials, why, when, and how trials. Now, the Zelen design was first proposed by Marvin Zelen in 1979. It is a form of randomized clinical trial design, and actually Marvin was a esthetician from Harvard for the public health school. And this design, this strategy consisted in pre-randomization of patients followed by consent. And he came up with this idea because he thought that patients are easily discouraged once they learn in the consent form about the two different treatments available, as well as physicians could be discouraged. And because also when patients, once they have been randomized, after they receive consent and once they have been randomized and they realize which group they have been assigned to, they may be disappointed about this group assignment and they may be introducing, bias by like performance bias because they didn't want to be part of this group. And this method is usually used as an alternative, either in assessing efficacy of a new treatment or comparing the efficacy of existing treatment. Like, for example, maybe it could be a control group with a standard treatment versus an intervention group with this new treatment that's being investigated, or two groups that are, assessing the efficacy of two existing treatments. In regards to the consent that is assigned, that is given the patient once it has been randomized, is only about the treatment that they will receive. That means that the consent would not have any information about the other treatment, the alternative treatment. So the patient does not get discouraged or disappointed by learning about this other treatment. However, something very important is that the waiver to receive consent, prior to randomization has been, needs to be follow certain criteria that was decided by the revised common rule. The main criteria are that, the risk, that the patient will be exposed in this study or with the intervention that it would receive may not be high. Like they may be very like minimal risk. Second, that the waiver to receive consent must be like practical. I mean, it must be necessary for the study to go through. So this will be like the only reason to do the study is if the patient only received consent after being randomized. Thirdly, the patient needs to have the right to accept or decline once he received consent. So the rights and the welfare of the patient needs to be respected. When the patients receive consent about the either the intervention that they will receive or whether they're going to be in a standard treatment, the patient has the choice of this deciding if they want to continue participating in the study. And that's why there, as a fourth criteria, the patient needs to receive full disclosure after randomization or whenever it is appropriate. The patient needs to know that they are participating in a study and that they will be receiving the treatment that they will receive. They need to know everything about that. Because of that, this type of design has certain disadvantages. Like, for example, it does not allow the blinding of physician, which can introduce different bias, like ascertainment bias, or like, the physician knowing the, assignment of the group of the participants, they can abuse this and maybe can decide on his own, on his or her own, which group the patient should be assigned to, and then giving the patient consent only to this group that they think will be the best for this patient. Also, there's a lot of sampling bias because think about it. The patients that would be included in this type of studies are patients that are already, let's say, in the clinical practice or that come for this particular condition. It's like very comparable to like getting volunteers for a study where the characteristics of the patients that will be included in the study are so specific as to like not allowing it to be the results to be extrapolated to the general population because maybe the only reason why they have been selected to receive treatment or not treatment is because they already came to the to the emergency room or to the clinical practice. So this affects a little bit the external validity of the study. However, it's important to know that maybe this is not so much of a concern because this type of designs are like the Zelen designs are adaptive designs that are especially used in situations that are like rare diseases or conditions that are not like easy to investigate and that other forms of randomized clinical trials are not as effective in investigating. Lastly, a disadvantage is like the potential loss of precision. If patients decline participation after they receive consent, then maybe a group of, will have less participants. But and actually, this type of design is analyzed using the intention to treat analysis, meaning that the results will be evaluating considering whether the patient participated or declined. It doesn't matter. A way to address this issue, this disadvantage, is by increasing the sample size of the study, which would allow, the researchers to have more, data on more as they include more participants.